This is Jerome Flood II, and I want to tell you all about my 2019 overseas China tour. So here's the first thing. A lot of people ask me how I got the tour. You know, how did you get overseas? And really, it was just a simple, direct message through Instagram. Sometimes I check my DMs, like the other DMs, you know, not the ones that you really see off bat when you open, but the ones that are kind of, you know, just off to the side. So I randomly checked that one day, and I seen somebody from China send me the longest message ever. And I was like, oh, let me check this out. So I checked it out, and, you know, sometimes, like, being in business for so long, you know when somebody is saying the right thing. The English wasn't perfect, but I was like, I think he's trying to get me to China, man. So I need to, like, you know, read into this a little more. So it even said, you can ask these people about me, you know, I promise you I'm legit, and all that stuff. So before I even got a chance to ask, like, Guitar Center corporate office calls me, and they say, hey, our friend is trying to contact you. You need to answer. So that's exactly what I did. I replied, hey, yeah, I'm available. Let's hook it up. So that's exactly how it happened. Next thing you know, like, they're booking my flight, my hotels, all that stuff, man. Listen, when they want something done, they work quick. So, you know, I definitely appreciate that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a long flight. Very long flight. First class, that's all I'm gonna say. Maybe like, I don't know, 14, 15 hours. So yeah, that's a long flight. I watched every movie I could possibly watch, listened to music, ate food, stared at the back of the seat, you know. But yeah, that was a long flight. We didn't always take a flight to the next city though. Sometimes we drove, sometimes we took a train, sometimes we did take flights. I was very fortunate to stay in some awesome hotels in China. Very fortunate. Cool thing was, you know, if there was a hotel that I didn't like, I could just change it. I'm like, hey, I don't like this hotel. You know, I don't feel as comfortable as I feel I should. And they would make sure that, you know, they changed the hotel, like, right then, even before, like, we get to the hotel. Sometimes I would, you know, put my bags down on the, you know, on the floor in the hotel room and be like, you know, let's change. I want to go somewhere else. And it actually happened. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. And I didn't make a fuss about it, you know, like, because I'll tough it out if I have to. But, you know, if I don't have to, I won't. Yeah, so this was a 11 city tour. And I'm going to be honest, like, we didn't do all those shows. I think 2 shows got canceled, so I think I did 9 shows. And, you know, it's still a lot of work just to do that. Like, I went from playing behind, you know, an artist to becoming an artist. So it's a different ballgame. you don't get as much sleep as you think you would get. You have a lot of work to do. You got to make sure that your show is on point. You got to make sure that what you're talking about is on point. Because, mind you, it's a drum clinic tour. So you have to talk. You have to explain what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You can't just go up there and do a whole bunch of drum licks and think that, you know, they're going to be all the way happy with that. They might be happy, but they're not going to be all the way happy because they really want to learn. Just woke up, tired.
Yeah.
Very tired. Day 2. Those little kids shocked me. They shocked me, man. I did this one drum clinic. A whole bunch of kids got their hands in the air. Ooh, pick me, because they want to ask questions. So, this boy over here might be 12 years old. How many drum sets do you have? And I'm like, I don't know, 5. You know, like something easy. And then another kid is like, oh, what color are your drum sets? Start telling them the color. And then a little 5-year-old has his hand in the air the whole time. And I'm just like, you know, I'm just skipping past them because I'm trying to get to like the real questions. Finally, I decide for him to ask me a question. And he asked me, what's the difference between 8th notes and 16th notes? This is the 5-year-old. I'm like, what? Excuse me? So we did a lot of, you know, outside drum clinic festivals, and I'm gonna be honest, anything outside is just going to be insane. It's gonna be packed.
This is crazy.
Yeah, look at all those people. They didn't see me play, man.
Because it's not only drum fans that want to come see you, it's people that are just walking around, and they will stay there for 3 hours until you play.
Out here, man.
And they didn't even know this was happening. They just like that things are going on in their city, And, you know, I'm okay with that because now people know who I am even more. So yeah, the food. I had some really good food in China, had some really bad food in China. I mean, you're not gonna like everything if you don't live out there. You may not know what to get. You know, it's a different culture. So, you know, I had some good food, had some bad food. But one thing I will say is that I know what I want. So if I wasn't comfortable with eating certain things, I'd be like, give me fried rice, give me a Coca-Cola.
昆明的，谁昆明？他昆明的。
我是昆明的。
哦哦，
我是昆
昆明
明的。
昆明哪儿啊？
云南昆明。
我知道昆明哪儿啊？
讲普通话。
讲。
昆明大概我住的地方相当于昆明的关上，估计你也不知道。
啊，不知道。
啊。
再回去。
You know, something like that. And sometimes I would start asking, you know, people that are taking me other places, where's the bread shop at? Like, I want some bread. So I would go to the bread shop in every city that I could, and that's when I found out that they have a lot of good food in China. It's just hidden a little bit, you know. So I would go to the bread shop, I would get donuts, I would get turkey sandwiches, I would get, you know, all types of stuff, man. Just like some loaf of bread and make my own sandwiches. Like, I started eating really good out there once I found the bread shop. I'm like, oh yeah, I could get used to that. Anytime I've ever done a clinic outside in China, it was extremely hot. I mean, I'm baking. I'm rotisserie out there. It's crazy hot. But, you know, I make sure I stay as cool as I can and as calm as I can. And, you know, make sure I don't go too hard outside because I'm not passing out. So this one specific clinic was actually in a mall. And I walk inside the mall. My face is everywhere in this mall. I'm talking like the biggest billboard. Like, my face is everywhere. So yeah, before this drum clinic even started, I had to do my sound check and, you know, make sure everything is in order. But yeah, there's a problem. Once one person comes up to me and asks me for a picture, everybody comes up to me. There was a point where I literally had to run away. It starts to get crazy out there, man. You take one picture, you're gonna have to take 300 pictures. The crazy thing is, like, every single city I went to, like, the pictures of me would get bigger and bigger and bigger and better. It was, you know, it was a bit overwhelming. Like, yo, man, they really love me out here. You know, I can appreciate that. I really can. Like, I don't take that for granted. I don't start acting cocky because of it. Like, you know, I just appreciate it. And I loved it. And I cherish those moments forever, for sure. So let me tell you about the last show that I did. Everybody's happy to see me. I'm happy to see them. I get on the drums. I do my performance. And then here's the thing that people don't understand. Every clinic I've done, the hard work isn't actually performing. The hard work is signing all those autographs and taking those pictures. And you're signing autographs. It's not just like you're signing a piece of paper. Like, no, you're signing a drumstick. So you know what a drumstick looks like. So you know it's kind of hard to write your name on a drumstick. You know, so I found myself doing both, both drumsticks in the pair, and I'm like, nah, we're gonna have to change that to one because it's too time consuming. And then sometimes I'm like, either we take a picture or we sign the stick. Like I can't do both because it's just a lot. There's literally like 1,000 people in line, just wanting to take a picture or get an autograph from me. So that's a great feeling, but it's definitely, draining. So the last show, they set a desk up for me in front of the stage after the stage was done. So, things are going cool for a minute. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, I don't know, just people got the urge to just rush the desk. So it's people all over me. Like, I mean, all over me. Somebody literally had to call my name out, tell me to raise my hand. So I raised my hand. They grabbed me by the arm, dragged me on stage. They dragged me on stage because I'm about to get trampled. So they dragged me on stage. They bring the desk up stage. Next thing you know, everybody runs up stage. I'm about to get trampled again. So they ended up kind of making a barricade for me so I could, sign the autographs and everything could be in order. But, it got pretty crazy, man. That was the first time I was, concerned for sure. I'm like, I want everybody to be safe. I don't want anybody to get hurt. And I don't want to get hurt neither. So, we got to figure this out. But, now I understand, why an artist would be, a little standoffish because they don't want to start, a stampede of people coming their way. It's like, you think that would be a good feeling, but, it's not all it's cracked up to be, really feeling that. So, that was the last show, but it still was a great show. I was supposed to do something in Beijing. It ended up getting canceled, I believe. But I used Beijing as my opportunity to shop. So I went to a mall. I bought some cool clothes, some sneakers, had some good food. They had Red Lobster out there. I ain't even gonna lie. I went crazy on Red Lobster. It was so good. And here's the thing that you may not know. In China, most places don't believe in ice. They don't believe in using ice in their drinks. So a lot of their drinks are, room temperature. So they're drinking a lot of room temperature milk, or they drink a lot of tea. And I don't drink room temperature milk. I don't drink tea. I like all my drinks to be cold. So when we found that Red Lobster, they had ice, I was so happy. I've never been so happy to have ice in my life. I just wanted a cold drink. I had so much ice in my glass. The whole thing was filled with ice. Barely any Sprite in it. Just straight ice. But I was so happy just to see ice. So yeah, that concludes my story of my 2019 Drum Clinic China tour.